seat one. Thanks. See ya. Let's move the computer back a bit. Okay. So good morning, everybody. Everybody on Zoom, that is. Welcome. Welcome to this space. And this is our third week, I think, of the final module for this year. And we're continuing on the chapter of patience. Very important chapter, of course. And today I've organised. I would say I prepared because it was kind of a late preparation. Did an art course with Andy on the weekend, so the preparation for the meditation was quite late. Anyway, I've organised a meditation on basically on the 12 links of dependent origination, which of course is the reason why we circle in samsara, all the reasons why we do that. We can continually create this birth, death, and rebirth. But anyway, before we go there, we will generate a mind of enlightenment, which is what the Bodhisattva's way, the Bodhisattva's practice is all about. The way of the Bodhisattva is taught by Shantideva. And yeah, so that's the heart of the practice. The mind of enlightenment, benefiting other sentient beings. And wow, how amazing it is that we can study this, we can reflect on it, we can meditate on it, and we can generate the realizations. Wow, that's so amazing. We are so fortunate. So let's just gather around us, all sentient beings. All sentient beings, we can gather them in human form, even though, of course, all sentient beings aren't in human form. But this is the form we relate with in the best way, the most kind of real way. So gathering around us all our friends, our enemies, and the strangers. Filling the entire sphere of space, above, below, to the horizons, in front, to the left and right, behind, all sentient beings. And especially in the forefront, everybody you have a problem with. Maybe somebody who's in your life right now, maybe a politician, maybe a far politician, or maybe a near politician. But always in thinking about people, you know, we need to think that this is our karmic appearance. This is why we're experiencing all this. It's our karmic appearance. It actually doesn't inherently exist from its own side. It is a dependent arising. And so it's dependent also, of course, on our mind, on our consciousness to apprehend what is out there. It doesn't exist independently of our mind. So anyway, bringing to mind again all these sentient beings that we generate a contrived wish initially, and then hopefully later an uncontrived mind that wishes to free all these living beings from suffering and lead them to the state of enlightenment. And of course, this is why we meditate on our own suffering. And of course, first, we have to develop compassion for this very body, this very mind of our own. Because without compassion for ourselves, there's no way we can generate compassion for any other living being. So we need to know our own suffering. We need to know the physical suffering, and we need to know the mental suffering. And of course, as we all know, these sufferings can be intense at times, and then they can be not so prevalent at other times. So that's the impermanent nature showing its face. And of course, anything we experience is influenced by the mind, and the mind usually builds it up so that it's actually much more intense than it really is. So anyway, back to the sentient being. So developing of kindness and understanding and compassion for ourselves so that we can genuinely share that with others, wish them freedom from their sufferings, wish them every happiness, which of course is what we all want, just wanting happiness and not wanting suffering. So wishing to free every single living being from their suffering and lead them to the highest state of enlightenment. And how do we do that? We do that by developing our own mind, by us ourselves attaining that state of enlightenment, so we can genuinely help others to attain that state as well. So now we take a couple of moments, couple of minutes to concentrate our mind, to reflect on how we're sitting in a position suitable for meditation, and focusing on our breath, just to bring our awareness inside, letting go of any thoughts, feelings, sensations or sounds, anything out there, letting it go and bringing our awareness back to the breath. Just holding our awareness on the breath, watching it come and go, and not allowing your mind to wander. Hold that determination that I will watch my mind, I will watch the breath for the next couple of minutes to focus and concentrate, bring a state of calm abiding to my mind. So I'm just going to, now that we have a concentrated mind, now we can focus on our meditation. And I'm going to go through just a kind of introduction to the Bodhisattva's way of life, some notes that I've just put together from reviewing the Bodhisattva's way of life. And it does stop short because, of course, it's not finished. It's only the very early part, the Bodhisattva's way of life, the overview. But anyway, let's just have a think about it. So first of all, we have the title, The Bodhisattva's Way of Life, as taught by Shantideva all those centuries ago, after having been challenged by his monastery, and then actually demonstrating that he had great realizations, far more than eating, sleeping, and going to the toilet, which they projected onto him. And so he put together a text to help people develop their mind. And of course, focused upon the entire Lam Rim. But from the point of view of benefiting sentient beings, so to generate the mind of enlightenment and to support that generation of the mind of enlightenment through these bodhisattva practices of the 6 perfections. And that's where we are right now. We're in the perfection of patience, which is a very long chapter, and for obvious reasons, that we all have unmanifest and manifest anger and hatred in our mind streams. And all these stains we have in our mind stream are those which we need to eliminate, which we need to overcome. So the title, Bodhisattva Charya Vatara. And I first remember hearing that title said by His Holiness the Dalai Lama, and it was in Dharamsala. It was the day after I'd taken ordination in 2004. And I was very green. I didn't really know much about the Dharma at all. In fact, pretty much nothing. But held a great aspiration to be ordained. And it was the day after ordination, and we were going to listen to His Holiness teach on the Bodhisattva's way of life. And I didn't even know what the Bodhisattva's way of life was. I'd never heard of it. Well, I might have heard of it, but I hadn't read any of it. And he said the words, Bodhisattva Charya Vatara. I can still hear them resonate in my mind. And I wondered what they meant. So I have broken down the words here as way of summary. So body, enlightenment. Sattva, a hero or a heroic being. Charya, the activities that being engages in. And Vatara, the entrance or introduction. So an introduction, I guess, to how a bodhisattva practices. And the title itself expresses the meaning of the text. So the meaning of the title that I've written here, it says, pure in being free from stain. The stains, obviously, of the afflictive emotions, cognitive obscurations. So pure in being free from stain, accomplished through the waxing of good qualities. So developing our good qualities and eliminating all the negative qualities. It sounds easy, huh? But we know it's not so simple. Enlightenment. Cleansing away of all that is to be discarded. The two veils of afflictive and cognitive. An accomplishment of the assimilation of all that is to be realized. And that's encompassed also in the word Sangye. I never know which way around it goes. But attaining all the realizations and getting rid of all the faults. This is our job. So heroic, referring to the hero, the Bodhisattva. And heroic, I've written, in giving limbs to others, not shying from actions difficult to perform. And that's talking about physically giving limbs, our arms, our legs, our head. So being very heroic as a Bodhisattva. But of course, we cannot give our body unless we have attained the accomplishment to do so. And the activities. So we have the charya, the activity. The Buddha's children, the bodhisattvas, or in particular in the bodhisattva's way of life, it means Arya Bodhisattva. So Buddha's children trained in everything. In the six perfections. Just sit in the second row. Just sit in the third row, actually. Yep. And the entrance. So the text itself, a perfect and unmistaken presentation of ways and means of the conduct of a bodhisattva. Ready. So thinking how the bodhisattva's way of life is set out. And I remember learning this with Venerable Sewang when she tutored this many years ago, probably 5, 6 years ago. And the Bodhicitta verse, dedication verse, relates to the whole entire text, and the chapters can be inserted within each phrase of the verse. So I'll just recite the verse and then we can go through what is encompassed within that. So, may the supreme jewel bodhicitta, not yet born, arise and grow. May that arisen not diminish, but increase more and more. So the first line of the stanza May the Supreme Jewel Bodhicitta. So wishing to develop this bodhicitta, it relates to the first 3 chapters of the Bodhisattva's way of life. The first chapter, the benefits of bodhicitta. The second chapter, confessing negativities. And the third chapter, thoroughly embracing bodhicitta. So chapters 1, 2, and 3, they teach how one who has not yet generated the mind of enlightenment can develop it. First, by understanding the nature and benefits of such a mind. Second, by performing the 7-limb worship, the 7-limb prayer. And third, reciting the ritual. The next line in the verse, so the first line, may the Supreme Jewel Bodhicitta. Second, not yet born, arise and grow. So that refers to the next 3 chapters. Number 4, conscientiousness. Number 5, guarding introspection. And chapter 6, patience, where we are right now. So chapter 4, 5, and 6 teach how someone who has developed the mind of enlightenment can prevent it from declining by practicing ethics and patience. So just reciting those 2 lines again, and then the third. May the Supreme Jewel Bodhicitta, not yet born, arise and grow, and may that arisen not diminish. So may that arisen not diminish encompasses the next 3 chapters, 7, 8, and 9. And those of the 3 higher trainings: joyous effort, concentration, and wisdom. And chapters 7, 8, and 9 teach how one can cause the mind of enlightenment to arise and flourish through practicing the perfection of joyous effort, concentration, and wisdom. And then the last line, so reciting the whole thing again. May the Supreme Jewel Bodhicitta, not yet born, arise and grow. May that arisen not diminish. And the last line, but increase more and more. And this, of course, relates to the dedication chapter, just the final chapter. And chapter 10, it dedicates the virtues accrued through the mind of enlightenment and its branches to complete enlightenment. for the sake of all sentient beings. And that's the key, isn't it? That we're actually working, training our mind, study, reflecting and meditating for every single living being. And we ourselves are one of those living beings. And also, of course, the perfection of generosity. It is encompassed within or throughout the entire text, throughout every chapter. So it's not mentioned individually within the lines of the stanza mentioned. So I was going to talk about or meditate, offer meditation on the 12 links, but of course, we've actually finished a half an hour. So I can carry on with that next week. So just wrapping up. So just generating a rejoicing in your mind for this opportunity that we have. It is so precious. And also, if we think the state of the world right now, all the difficulties that we experience in the world, difficulties and also difficulties amongst each other with the world leaders, fighting wars, climate change, and resources being used to extinction. It's just a very, very sad space that we find ourselves in. And of course, the pandemic that we have present at the moment. So we are so very fortunate to have Mahayana spiritual teachers, in particular, Geshe Phuntsok Sutram, and of course, our translator, Venerable Kartsen. These two working together as a team to deliver the teachings to us. How amazing that is. How wonderful, how precious. And especially at this time of this degenerate time, this degenerate age. So gathering together all the merit that we've accumulated from reflecting on the Bodhisattva's way of life as an overview. In thinking about embracing bodhicitta and working to benefit all living beings. May we dedicate our life to that, to the training of our minds and to the freeing all sentient beings from suffering. May they achieve everything they need. May they be able to meet with the Dharma so that they too can generate grounds and paths in their mind stream, quickly attain the state of enlightenment. May we lead them to the state of enlightenment by ourselves alone. Great, thank you everybody. Thank you. There's some people on here as well.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you for attending. We'll see you in class very soon. Thanks, Terry.
Thank you. Bye.
I'll just turn it off. Thank you. I can never work this computer. Come on. Doesn't want to turn off. Oh.